Shalom. We'll get started here shortly. Just want to make sure my audio and visuals is up to par. Just give me 1 second. Alright, yeah, we good. Alright, so Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakwadash. That's all praise to the Heavenly Father. His true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, and his son's name, who the world entered the cause, Jesus Christ, real name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Also give praises, honor, and glory to the Rakakwadash, which is the Holy Spirit, which is the force and entity that makes his edification possible. I want to say Shalom to all you sincere-hearted Akim Akwath. That's your brothers and sisters that's making your bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked and adulterous generation. I also want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and who rule well. And this morning, just doing a quick transit. I got camp later on this morning, but just something that was just up on my spirit. I was reading this morning 1 Samuel the 9th chapter when King Saul was about to, well, at the time Saul, before he became anointed, he went to go meet Samuel, the seer, the prophet, and Yahweh Shema Shah made provision to where everything worked through the spirit, everything aligned through the spirit. And Shalom to all you brothers and sisters logging on. Everything aligned in the spirit, for Samuel, for Saul to be anointed king. Right now, as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull up that account in 1 Samuel the 9th chapter. All right, this stuck out to me, man. Right, and as you can see, the title of this lesson is "Keep It Simple and Humble in This Walk." All right, keep it simple and humble in this walk. Right, because Yahweh Shema Shah, he's about to do away with a lot of people that's just doing the most in this thing, man. Israel had a lot of jakes, man. They have no chill whatsoever. They carry that same mentality into this truth, which is superfluity. All right, whatever is left over, whatever is remaining, from your old life, Jake is bringing that into his truth. So, this video is just, set up to warn, to comfort and exhort, and to bring to our members, man, to keep it simple in this walk. Do what's required of thee, nothing less, nothing more. All right, well, of course you want to do more, but don't be extra, because hey, man, when you try to be extra, that's when mistakes happen. So just do your part, be in your lot, and keep it humble, man. Stay in the spirit. All right, but nonetheless, this is 1 Samuel. And bear with me. Like I said, I'm driving, so I'm trying to look on this other phone to see where is that. It's 1 Samuel the 9th chapter, and we'll start right here at verse 19. It says, "And Samuel answered Saul and said, I am the seer." Because the spirit had it was through Saul's servant, right? He was saying that we need to go see the seer, right? So we could know which path we need to take, right? And it says, and I recommend you all to read this story for yourself to get the full context. And it says, "And Samuel answered Saul and said, I am the seer. Go up before me unto the high place, for you shall eat with me today, and tomorrow I will let thee go, and I will tell thee all that is in thine heart. And as for thine asses," right, because his father, had lost some donkeys, lost some asses, right? He told Saul and his servant, to go look for them, right? And I was thinking about this part as well, man. Saul had no idea, that Samuel knew about his father's, lost cattle, right? So you could just imagine what type of things was going in, Saul's head. It's like, man, this man, he knew about the asses that my father sent me on this journey, on this mission to go seek after, right? He told me don't even worry about it. He told me that these, now the asses have been found, right? And it made me think that, like, when it's your time to be exalted, Yahweh Shema Shah is going to make provision, But anyways, it says, "And as for thine asses that were lost 3 days ago, set not thy mind on them, see, for they are found. And on whom is all the desire of Israel? Is it not on thee and on all thy father's house?" So basically, Samuel was telling Saul, listen, the whole desire of the nation of Israel is upon you and your family, man. Basically, because we know Saul turned out to be a reprobate. But in the beginning, man, Saul was a righteous man. This was still a man that was chosen. And it says, verse 21, and Saul answered and said, am I not a Benjamite of the smallest of the tribes of Israel? Yeah, Benjamin, they're the youngest of all the tribes. And then he says, I'm the smallest of all the tribes of Israel, right? He says, I'm the smallest of all the tribes of Israel. And this is how Yahweh Bashar Shah is honored, man. This is how he's glorified. As a matter of fact, let me get that real quick in the book of Sirach, the 3rd chapter. All right, because this thing isn't about status. It's not about prestige. It's not about the numbers. It's not about your height, your countenance, the way you look, the way you speak. All right, Yahweh Bashar Shah has chosen, as is written in 1 Corinthians, the 1st chapter, and the 2nd chapter, the small things, the base things, the weak things, to confound those things which are mighty. Right, but this is Sirach 3. And let me see if I can find that verse. We'll start at verse 18. It says, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself. So the greater you are, the more you need to be humble. Right, and it says, and you shall find favor before the Lord. Many are in high place. All right, many people are in a high estate. Many are in the upper echelons. And it says, where was I at? It's lagging. Man, I just lost my spot. Okay, here it goes, verse 19. Many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek, for the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly. So think about the type of power that Yahweh Bashar Shah possesses, right? But yet, through all that power, he's honored. He's honored of the lowly. See, the very same ones that mere mortals, these peons, they overlook the lowly, they despise the men. Well, those are very same men and women that Yahweh Bashar Shah has chosen, right? So let's go back to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 9, where we at, verse 20, and it says, and as for thine asses that were lost 3 days ago, set not thy mind on them, for they are found. And on whom is all the desire of Israel? Is it not on thee and on thy father's house? And Saul answered and said, am I not a Benjamite of the smallest of the tribes of Israel? And my family the least of all the families of the tribe of Benjamin? Wherefore then speakest thou so to me? So he's like, why are you telling me, that because imagine, man, hey, Samuel was a scriptures tell you in 1 Samuel, I believe either the 3rd chapter, the 2nd chapter, that all of Israel knew and understood that Samuel was the prophet and the man of the Lord, right? So just imagine, how that made Saul feel. He's being bidden unto this supper, unto this feast, right, with Samuel, with a well-known prophet, a man of the Lord. Right, and he's lowly. Saul is lowly. He's the smallest of the tribes of all the tribes of Israel, and then he's the smallest amongst his own tribe, the least of all his own family, and now he's being bidden, to this great man. And this reminds me of this parable that Yahweh Shah gave us in Luke the 14th chapter, which Yahweh Shah will end up getting here shortly. But let's go back. Verse So he says, wherefore thou speakest to me? Verse 22, and Samuel took Saul and his servant and brought them into the parlor. And the parlor is basically like a supper room, a supper area where they have a large table, right? And it says, and he brought them into the parlor and made them sit in the chiefest place among them that were bidden, which were about 30 persons. See, so Samuel brought them into the chiefest place, man. Right? He set Saul, which was the lowliest of all, pretty much of all the nation of Israel, right, into the highest place of honor, man. And see, with us, with us being this truth, man, that should be your heart's desire, man. You know, your heart's desire is you should want to have that seat with Yahawashi, right? It doesn't really, man. Hey, you should be in the spirit, man. You don't care what seat you get, man. You just want to be there with Yahawashi, right? But we know that he's honored of the lowly. So the more, as we just got in, saw right the 3rd chapter, the more you, the greater thou art, the more you need to be humble, man. You know, right? Because Yahweh Shema Shah is about to uproot a lot of people within the nation of Israel, people who know that the Israelites, he's about to uproot them out of this truth. Why? Because they're not humble, man. They're not humble. Right? And it says, let's go back. Verse 22, and Samuel took Saul and his servant and brought them into the parlor and made them sit in the chiefest place among them that were bidden, which were about 30 persons. Verse 23, and Samuel said unto the cook, bring the portion which I gave thee, of which I said unto thee, set it by thee. Right? Because Samuel reserved Saul a particular portion of meat just for him, man. Hey, man, Yahawashi got a specific wine cup, got a specific wine glass. He got a specific choice piece of the lamb just for us, man. Just for us. This should be what you should be pushing for, man. Right? But in order to obtain that, right, it starts with humility. Starts with a contrite mind, meaning a broken mind. Nobody in the, man, especially here in Babylon, none of us should have any place for pride, you know, for as a sense of, you know, you better than the next man. Man, we have all, man, went aside. And we need that favor, we need that grace, man. And in order to obtain or have hopes, you know, to obtain that grace, hey, man, it starts with you being humble, right? Playing your part. All right, it says, where are we at? Verse 24. So lock it. Try not to swear. Let me get over here in the right lane real quick. Bear with me. All right, yeah, verse 24. And the cook took up the shoulder, talking about the shoulder of that animal. It says, and that which was upon it, and set it before Saul. And Samuel said, behold, that which is left, meaning look at what's left. Look at what I left for you. Right? And he says, set it before thee and eat. For unto this time hath it been kept for thee, since I said, I have invited the people. So Saul did eat with Samuel that day. See? And that I want to grab this in Luke the 14th chapter, man. So Samuel had reserved a portion of meat just for Saul, man. And you best believe, man, the elect, hey, if we're a part of that number, Yahweh desire we are, you know, you sincere brothers and sisters, you know, you best believe that Yahawashi got specific reservations with your name on it, man. And with that thought right there should give you all the motivation in the world, man, to deny yourself, to deny this world, to deny your family, knowing that the creator of the of everything created something just for you, man, to your liking. He gonna give you the juiciest part of the steak, man, you know, so to say. But let's get this in Luke 14. Right, because we know, according to Revelation, the 19th chapter, right, it says that Yahawashi's wife, you know, she's we're going to be partaking into the marriage supper of the Lamb. See, because once Yahawashi redeems his elect, you know, starting with the 144,000 and a large multitude, hey, man, it's going to be a feast going on, right? But in order to partake of that feast, there's something that you have to play upon your part. This is Luke the 14th chapter. And let's see. Bear with me 1 second. Let's see. Okay, here we go. It's Luke 14 and verse 7. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden. And who's bidden? Right? Those of you that have been called into this truth. Bidden means to be called. Right? So everybody that's been called into this truth, right? You have been bidden. You have been given an invitation unto this marriage. right? Whether you're bidden by a brother, on the highways and byways, or whether you were bidden on the internet, you may have ran across, a camp, right? That was you being invited to this marriage. Now, as we know, right, according to Matthew the 22nd chapter, he says many have been called, or many have been invited, but few are actually chosen, man. See? And that in and of itself should make you be humble, and stay and do your work in silence, man. Right? Because, hey, what season are we in, man? We're in the season of the Passover. Now, when you think about what was going on, in the Passover in ancient Egypt, what was commanded of us, man? To put the blood of the lamb over our door and to shut ourselves up inside the house, right? Now, it's commanded, that blood now should be over your mind. It should be over you, right? And you need to be shut up in your house, so to say, meaning to be quiet. Don't stir up this death angel that's going out, man. Because, hey, you see a lot of judgments happen upon a lot of people, man. Why is that? Because they're busybodies. Their feet don't abide in their home. They're too busy. They're just doing the most, right? So do what's commanded of you. Be humble. Be quiet, as it says in Amos the 5th chapter. It says that the prudent, meaning the wise, shall keep silent in those times because it is evil days, right? So with us seeing that these are evil days, this is all the more motivation for you to just be quiet. What does Proverbs 13 chapter say? He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, man. Right? There's Ecclesiastes the 3rd chapter says that there's a time to speak and there's a time to keep silence. Right? So this is a time to just, just do your work, right? And keep it at that, man. Let's see, let me grab this. In Luke 14 and verse 7, and he put forth a parable to those which were bidden when he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, saying unto them, so there are certain individuals who were invited, man. They were bidden of this marriage just like everybody else, right? But he says that he marked those who did what? They chose out the chief rooms. You want to make yourself the chief. Who gave you the authority? Who, to make yourself the chief, to put yourself in a high rank, in a high position, as if you're better than everybody else who was just bidden, man. Right? Here we all are stuck in Babylon, or wherever you may be scattered. You got brothers and sisters all over this world. Here we are in a polluted earth, man. But yet, as soon as you got this invitation, you think that you just this big bad Hebrew, man. Right? Well, hey, man. Hey, bro. Man, you gotta watch yourself, man. We gotta watch ourselves because that type of mindset can easily creep in, man. Right? But you gotta, as soon as those thoughts come in your mind, man, you gotta rebuke it. Because nobody's immune to pride. Nobody's immune to pride, man. It can come, it can creep into you at any time. That's why you gotta constantly, I'll stay constantly checking myself, man. There's nothing to be proud of. We have done the most abominable things. Smoking cigarettes, smoking blunts, committing adultery, worshiping Caesar Borgia. All right, what the hell you gotta be proud of, man? Scriptures tell you in Jeremiah the 31st chapter that we'll come to Zion. Oh, also in Jeremiah the 50th chapter, that we'll be returning unto Yahweh Shema Shah, seeking a covenant with him with weeping and with tears, man, knowing that we don't deserve this chance. Man, we don't deserve, man, we didn't even deserve being invited, man. Why would he invite us, bro? After everything we just did? It's his favor, it's his grace, it's his mercy, man. And if somebody's merciful unto you, when you know that good and damn well you just trespassed against them, man, you would chill the hell out every time you're around them. You try to get on their good side, man, you be humble. You would do whatever they tell you to do without complaining, without grudging. And it's the time we in, man. So let's go back. Luke 14 and verse 8. When thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, it says, sit not down in the highest room. And we, like we just said, man, we've been bidden unto this wedding. He says, don't sit in the highest room, right? It says, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him. See? So, don't be coming to this truth as if, and try to seek out the highest place, the highest place of of honor, right? There's going to be somebody else that's going to come in after you, and they're going to be better than you, man, right? Because just like that story that we just read in 1 Samuel, the 9th chapter, right? Samuel, there's already 30 people already sitting in that parlor. But Saul came in, and he got the best of everything. Got the best of the lamb shoulder, got the best of the seat, and then he came in with the prophet Samuel, man. Why? Because at that time he was lowly, right? He was the base pretty much of all of Israel. Came from the lowest of the tribes, right? He was the smallest of his own tribe, of his own family, right? And those are the type of individuals that Yahweh Shema Shah is glorified in, man. Because it shows that it had nothing to do with you, but everything to do with him. That's why it's so important to be humble, because it gives him the glory, man. And Yahweh Shema Shah ain't stingy, man. When you give him glory, he gonna give you some glory right back. But if you're trying to make glory for yourself, you only gonna end up losing, man. Verse 8 again. When thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, unless a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him. Yeah, because there's some individuals, man, there's some men and some women that's better than certain individuals, even amongst the truth, even amongst Israel. The first fruits, go into that word first fruits in the Greek, I believe it's arparche, and it literally means those are the same. I have to look back at the definition, but roughly paraphrasing, you're the same stock, but you're like the chiefest of them. You're better. What did Samuel tell Saul? He says that after Saul had transgressed the commandment of the Lord, he told Saul what? The Lord is about to replace you with a neighbor of yours that is better than you. I'm going to show you that there's certain Israelites that's better than other Israelites, but you're not supposed to be carrying yourself. Man, look at this car. Man, these people don't know how to drive, man. So lock it. Don't cut around me like that. But you got certain people amongst the truth. They may be better than you, but guess what? You shouldn't have that mentality like, oh, I know I'm better than this nigga. No, you stay humble, you stay calm, and in due time, let me grab that real quick. In due time, the Lord is going to exalt you, man. Because did he not say that in Malachi, the 3rd chapter, then you shall return and see those who fear the Lord and who fear him not, who serve him and who serve him not. The Lord will make you he will make those individuals known, right? But there's a process to things. Let me get over real quick. All right, and that process begins with you playing your part and staying humble. This is 1 Peter, the 5th chapter, verse 6. It says, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahweh, that he may exalt you. You best believe there's going to be a reward at the end of this. We will be exalted. All right, but this is the time for us to be humble, play our parts, man, and master it to the best of our ability. Now let's go back to Luke 14:8. It says, when thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest seat, unless a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him. It says, and he that bade thee, meaning whoever called thee, and him come and say to thee, give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. So basically, you're gonna be shamed, man. Once somebody that's better than you comes in and say, hey, you gotta get up out this seat, man. This seat was reserved for me. All right, why? Because you made yourself the chief. You made yourself of a reputation. Scripture says in Philippians, the 2nd chapter, that when Yahweh Shah came, man, he made himself of no reputation. He took on the form of a slave. Yahweh Shah did, and he knew that he was the one who created planet Earth and everything and everybody in it. But when he came as his incarnation, as Yahweh Shah, man, he took the lowest of the low, right? Born at basically, the way how he came in, fleeing from the persecution of Herod, right? He paid his taxes. His own people was hating on him, right? But he remained humble, right? And now he's sitting at the right hand, right, of his heavenly Father, Yahweh. So it says, verse 10, but when you were bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room. See, when you're called into this truth, man, take the lowest road, man. That's the best thing to do. Don't be doing the most. You know, a lot of people, man, I've seen it with my own eyes. I witnessed it, man. Certain people, they'll come in after you, right? Certain of them, right? You even taught them, right? And now, you know, couple weeks, couple months go by, and now they you know, on IG, they on YouTube stunting like they been this truth, you know, flashing their fringes, you know, got like, you know, like you just this big bad brew, man. It don't work like that, man. It don't work like that. And Yahweh Shema Shah ain't pleased with that type of mentality, man. So let's go back. It says, but when you are bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. Then you shall have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee. So, you know, he says, when you take the lowest road, when you take the lowest seat, right, and whoever called you, you know, which is Yahweh Shah, when he called you, he comes back in the room, then he will tell you, hey, come up a step higher. Come up a step higher, right? He's the one that has to exalt us, man, not ourselves. In verse 11, for whosoever exalts himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted, man. See? And this is also why Esau's about to be taken out of his exaltation, because he exalted himself. According to Obadiah, he exalted himself above the stars of above the height of the excellencies of the mountains, man. Sitting in the seat that he is God, and sitteth above Salakia. Let me grab that real quick. Second Thessalonians 2. Verse 4, who opposeth and exalts himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And this is why this man's about to be uprooted. And if you partake, because that's an Edomite characteristic, man. You know, that's an Edomite characteristic, man. It's pride. And I almost said it. Any so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American that has that pride, man, you've been around this man too long. See, that's what Babylon has produced in our people, man. It's pride. Let me grab that real quick, and because I'm almost here at my destination. It's Sirach, the 13th chapter, and verse 1. He that touches pitch shall be defiled therewith. Pitch is what? Like tar, resin, you know, just, you know, you don't want it on your hands. So he says, he that touches pitch shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with the proud man shall be like unto him. So if you have fellowship with prideful people, you're going to be just like them, man. And see, our people are prideful, and they carry that same pride and mentality in the truth. Why? Because they've been around Esau, Edom too long, man. We've been in Babylon too long. All right? But when you come to this truth, man, you got to realize that this ain't how we operate, man. This is like in this car trying to get by. Go ahead, man. People want to back out when they see you pulling in, man, bro. But anyway, let's get this in Sirach, the 1st chapter, then we'll end it out here. This is Sirach 1 and verse 30. Exalt not thyself, lest you fall, and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so Yahweh discover your secrets. There's about to be a lot of secrets discovered, man, even amongst Israel. A lot of people that's been hiding stuff, you know, particular camps in your particular household or whatever. Hey, there's nothing that's hid that should not be made manifest, man. Yahweh Shema Shah is about to expose everything and everybody, man. That's why you got to keep yourself pure, right? And it says, exalt not thyself, lest you fall, and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so Yahweh discover thy secrets, and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation. Everybody's going to see your fall, man. It's going to be a public fall when you try to exalt yourself. When you exalt yourself, the Lord's going to bring out all your dirt, And he's going to cause everybody to see exactly who you are. Why? Because you portrayed yourself in the midst of the congregation to be a certain thing. But no, the Lord's going to show your true colors. Just like he's showing the world Esau's true colors right now through the mouth of his prophets. Right? This man, he's not hidden anymore. Right? How the secret things that Esau searched out. Right? Well, just as the secret things that Esau has been searched out, the secret things a lot of prophet Israelites are being searched out as well, man. And this is why you should, man, be humble, bro. It says, and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation. Why? Because you came not in truth to the fear of the Lord, but your heart is full of deceit, man. And that speaks for itself. You didn't come in this truth because you truly fear Yahweh Shema Shai. You came in this truth having a mentality of deceit, right? Trying to make a name for yourself, right? But let me see if anybody put anything up. Shalom, brother Akwath Tazabaya. Hope I said your name right. You know, but yeah, man. Lord willing, we'll be holding camp here soon. You know, just gonna go in, give me a little coffee, and just kind of meditate a little bit. But you know, till next time, man. I want to say shalom.